Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the final multimedia discussion board presentation for MPA 540. I'm going to be talking quickly about employee privacy. I want to start this presentation talking about employee privacy expectations. This is a good segue from the videos in our course material this week, especially the one with the teacher who had to resign because of the pictures that she posted on her private Facebook that made its way or made their way back to the school district and some parents and so forth. We all, as myself, an employee, and my staff at work, we all feel that we're protected. We have rights. But what happens is once you work for a public agency, anything that you say, do, even if you're outside of work, could come back to haunt you. If you post on a agency's Facebook page under your private Facebook account, it's a very fine line. I think it's a lot of gray area. And even dealing with work, I receive questions all the time from my staff, and I refer them up to HR because I'm not even clear. I don't think we have as many rights as we think we do, and that's where people get in trouble. So really it depends on how your agency or how that public entity really pushes those rules and pushes how much they monitor. Now that I've given my opinion on what I feel employees privacy expectations are as related to where I work, there's the other side of the sword of the employer's right to know. And I do believe they should have a right to know what you're doing while you're conducting business, normal business hours, 7 to 5 or 8 to 5. Um, and with the county Riverside, anything that you do during when you're on the clock and you use county media, use a computer, use the online access, you have no privacy. They're able to do and look and monitor what you're doing. The issue comes up is once you leave the office or once you're not using their media any longer. I have a quick example. I had an employee using his Facebook during normal business hours and actually responding to people asking questions about the county. Then he uses that same Facebook account after hours, from his phone or home to post pictures and kind of badmouth other employees in the county. And eventually he ended up getting written up and moved around. So I don't know if he ever got fired or not or whatever happened, but I know it became a very big issue. And I just, you know, I understand why they want to know during business hours, and I kind of understand why they would want to know what you're doing after business hours, when it relates to, you know, the county or the business. But I think there's a fine line, and I think we need to respect the employee's right to privacy as well as the employer's right to know what you're doing. So here I wanted to share the County Riverside's board policy on electronic media and use. Talks about if you're using a county device, you're going online, emails, anything that has to do with that stuff. This is what we have to sign when we get hired at the county. And one thing I want to point out is policy, one, I guess it would be section 1. And what that says is no expectation of personal privacy for use of county systems. So that goes back to what I was saying. As soon as you log on your Facebook on a county computer, that's it. And I think that allows them, once you leave the office, now that you've logged on during the county business hours, they have access to that to monitor you. Like I said, I don't know the exact limitations on what what employers will do, what rights, the actual rights are. I have employees ask me, and I always refer them to human resources because I don't want to misspeak or put my foot in my mouth when I say one thing or another. But it should be known that this is a very big no-no. And this policy is about 4 or 5 pages long, and it goes into very much detail on what you shouldn't do and what you shouldn't expect or what you should expect. And with all that said, want to say thank you. Thanks everybody for watching and commenting on my videos all course long. And goodbye and good night.